Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. In today's day and age, most everything we do requires an internet connection, from posting your lunch to Instagram, downloading an update to your gaming console, or streaming videos on YouTube, which you are more than likely doing right now. With this much reliance we have on the internet, we no doubt are going to want to be safe while doing so, and this is where Surfshark comes in. Surfshark is one of the top-rated VPNs out there, and with good reason. Surfshark VPN allows you to block ads, trackers, and malware, encrypt your online data when using public Wi-Fi, allows you to rest easy knowing your information won't be monitored nor stored, hide your IP address so you won't leave behind a digital fingerprint, and so much more. Along with 24/7 customer support, unlimited devices, trusted security, and award-winning privacy are just a few things that Surfshark offers. And for all of you in the comments saying that you cannot watch my Dear David video since it's region blocked in certain countries, well, with Surfshark, you can now connect to a server in a different country with just a few taps and then you're all set. All of this and more can be yours for less than $3 a month. But if that wasn't sweet enough, if you click the link in the description box below, you will get an 83% discount along with 3 months free when using the code CADABER in all caps. So do yourself and your privacy a favor and click the link to sign up today. By now, most of us are familiar with Reddit and the countless communities across the platform and the different services that they can offer. We in the past on this channel have mentioned a few of them relating to a man who was seen as helpful and friendly but hid a very dark secret. A man who lost everything by simply trying to do the right thing, and a woman who was not sure if her boyfriend was secretly hurting her. These 3 stories are just the tip of an iceberg on Reddit. Not to say that all of the posts made are just people talking about horrible experiences, but they are there. And some you do not even have to dig that far to find, especially if you find yourself on the r/confessions subreddit, where, as the name suggests, people can go to get things off their chest that have been eating away at them for some time. Some do it out of guilt and remorse, where others have done it to simply brag. There are even posts out there that are simply made to get a laugh out of people. However, one that caught the attention of a lot of people that left many speechless was a post made by user mesc997. In just a few paragraphs, this user told a story that painted them as a person who made a mistake and is paying dearly for it. This is the story of mesc997 and will show you just how dangerous the internet can be. I am responsible for the deaths of several people. Around 4 years ago, I was a vendor on the darknet. It was a relatively short-lived thing. I was just doing it because I was too lazy to get a job, and at the time, didn't want to settle for the 9-to-5 thing. I wanted to start my own business, and use the drug money as a startup. I had been using myself for years. Along with that, I met lots of people into the dealing scene, and eventually, started dealing myself. I have a lot of anxiety though, so I hated meeting up with people in parking lots, and I definitely didn't want anyone to know where I lived. That's when I read about the Silk Road and Ross Ulbricht being caught. Got obsessed with the idea of it, got obsessed with learning about OPSEC, all with the goal of eventually using my connections to start up my own store. Well, after a couple of months, I did. I started my store with 3 drugs, ketamine, meth, and some outdoor weed my buddy was getting for super cheap. All was going good for a few months. Had a couple thousand get stolen in an exit scam, but I had about $25,000 saved at that point, so it didn't ruin my life like a few vendors that I know of. Eventually, I met a local connect that came into town only once a week, but had anything I wanted. Mescaline, LSD, mushrooms, PCP, and fentanyl. At the time, people weren't really cutting heroin with fentanyl. I mean, I'm sure people did plenty, but it was not nearly as commonplace now. People just did fentanyl, and still do. I put all of my addresses into an Excel spreadsheet, along with their name, zip code, order, along with their amount. At the time, I was selling some super white powdered mescaline. The fentanyl was also white powder, and very similar consistency. Long story short, my Excel f***ed up, or I f***ed up, and about 7 people's mescaline orders were filled in as fentanyl orders. They all went out. I didn't notice and kept doing my thing for a few days. After about 5 days, someone contacted me and told me that their friend died from my mescaline. I immediately called bullshit and went to check my order log and scale up how much I had left of my mescaline. Well, I had about 11 grams more than I should have. I still don't know how the fuck it could have happened. I wasn't a user, but I was definitely high off dabs. I went to check my order log on the market to see if anyone had finalized on their purchase, and a couple of them were, but none from a specific day, including the person that messaged me. No one that had purchased mescaline that day had finalized their orders. The market I was on also had a feature to see the user's last activity, and none of them had logged in at least 3 days, most 2 days. I immediately deactivated my vendor account. I didn't even need confirmation. I knew what happened. I knew I just killed several people. I'd sold the rest of my drugs, converted my Bitcoin to cash, and I moved the f*** away. I didn't speak to anyone for weeks. I found a job in a restaurant, living in a city I always wanted to. I haven't touched drugs since that day. I haven't had anything to do with that life since then. I still think about them every night. I saved their names and Googled them a few days later. I was able to find info on 4 customers that definitely died. One customer shared it with a friend. They both died. I don't know why I'm even posting this, mainly because I have no one to tell, and even if I did, I don't think I could. I spend my days sober, clocking into work, clocking out of work, coming home, and playing video games. I am a complete recluse. People I used to know have distanced themselves immensely, and I know it's because I'm a shell of my former self. I can't help it. Could I even tell a therapist about this? I don't feel I deserve to even be alive. Am I really living anyway? I don't know anymore. Maybe this will help me feel better. Obviously, that is a lot to unload. This individual is clearly dealing with a lot of PTSD from what happened and has, in their own words, become a shell of their former self. And with pretty obvious reasons why. When I first stumbled upon this post, I was at a loss for words myself, and then I saw that I wasn't alone, as numerous others were commenting on the post, expressing their disbelief. Clearly, OP made a mistake, and this is where I have seen a lot of debate coming from. Should this person turn themselves in to law enforcement? To me personally, the argument of simply forgetting is not a good enough excuse for their actions, since it resulted in the deaths of several people. If you are going to even conduct a business like this, then maybe don't do it when you're high, since the product you're shipping out could so easily kill someone who ends up using it. I wanted to give the OP some type of understanding when they mentioned that their Excel could have possibly messed up. But with them later stating that they were high off dabs, simply throws that possibility to me out the window. The other argument I could see being made was that those who purchased these substances should have known that they were playing a risky game. I am not here to advocate or attack those who use these substances, but I am in agreement that you are taking a chance if you are doing these. The argument could also be made that you are taking a chance every day by simply driving a car or riding a bike. Should the blame be solely on mesc997? Well, that opinion is yours to make alone. I can see that OP has a lot of guilt about their actions, and they are now suffering greatly for it. But apart from being tormented by knowing that they were responsible, nothing else has happened to them. I mean, not legally at least. They simply, as they said, closed up shop, got their money, and moved away. But I don't know. That money is, for all intents and purposes, blood money. And for me at least, I couldn't even take it. Sure, I get where people will go back and say those buying it were taking a chance, but were they really, since it was OP's fault for sending out the wrong product? This is honestly why this story stood out to me so much, because of how debatable it can be. There are both sides that can be argued, and regardless of whatever side I am on, it should be your choice alone on how you view the situation. Do you think that OP got off easy and is going to simply just get away with being responsible for these victims? Or do you think that those who used them took their own chance at life? Since these substances are very dangerous and can clearly lead to death, I suppose one good thing that can be said about OP is that they did close up shop once they found out. But was that out of guilt or fear? I would really like to know what you all think about this story in the comments. I do read all of them, and I am very curious to see how this story resonated with everyone here. I just ask that everyone here continue to be polite and respectful in the comments, as you all have been. I know everyone here is familiar with how toxic the YouTube comments can be, but honestly, since I have launched this channel, I really haven't seen that much negativity there. It's special to me, honestly, that all of you are just so genuine and incredible, and I wanted to thank all of you for that. Remember to stay safe out there, friends. Good night.